Hey Taurus, it's Ria with your monthly forecast for February. Keep on watching to find out how you'll be impacted.
Let's get straight into it, Taurus, because Venus will be moving into Aries on February the 4th. And this is all about love and relationships and self worth and self value and also finances. And the reason why this is so profound is because in March, Venus is going to go retrograde, and so is Mercury going to go retrograde. So, a lot of what you're probably going to be picking up or feeling or going through during February will be like a sneak peek of what's to come in March. And March is a crazy, wild month. The reason why is because we have eclipses, we have retrogrades, and there's just so much intense energy occurring. For you, Venus moving into Aries means it's going to be impacting your 12th house. Now, the 12th house is more of like an isolated area of life where it's about retreating, going inwards. It's about your connection with the higher realms, the divine. It's your spirituality, it's your creativity. This is where you have like deep thoughts and deep periods of reflection. And this is also where you can access a lot of wisdom as well. This is a area of life that is associated and connected with healing as well. With Venus and Aries in this area of life, it's probably going to make you go really inwards and revisit some past experiences. That's all the 12th house, like making you go into the past. And this could even manifest in terms of like somebody from the past actually revisiting you and coming into back into your life. And that's all the retrograde energy, X is coming back, or unresolved issues or karma coming up where you gotta like figure it out. And I know it can be like really just emotionally so overwhelming, where the 12th house can even create like confusion with all these emotions. And it's like, do we get back together, do we not? It's just so much emotion that can leave you confused, and confusion is what leads to heartache. It's what leads to bad decisions sometimes as well. So you need to really practice a lot of grounding during this time, because Venus is influence in the 12th house. It's very unusual, and even more unusual because it's in Aries, and Aries is such a like direct extroverted energy. So when it's in the 12th house, it's kind of like in a conflict and almost like held back. So it's not able to really manifest its full potential. But nonetheless, if you work with this energy in a more like spiritual matter, you may even find pleasure in your spiritual realm and your spiritual practices and with your creativity. I mean, Venus in the 12th house has so much abundant creativity, so that is a real bonus. That is a real positive. And if you ever find yourself in a position where you're confused and there's a lack of clarity, channel your creativity, because that can almost be like a guiding force for you in this time. But whatever's going to come up for you in February is going to be like directly linked to March. So journal, keep track of what you're going through, what you're feeling, and what's going on around you and where you're at, because that will be of assistance and guidance to you as well during retrograde season. Let's move on. On February the 4th as well, Jupiter goes direct in Gemini at 11 degrees. So this is impacting your second house of resources and self-worth, abundance, finances, and also your self-worth. So in the last couple of months of Jupiter being in retrograde, things may have had to like slow down, or there may have been like a reevaluation, a reassessing of this area of life. But now, whatever you have learned, the lessons, apply them, integrate them, and move forward, because this area of life is now moving forward. And Jupiter can bring a lot of abundance and a lot of growth, so that's a positive. But at the same time, you gotta be mindful of Jupiter, because it can also have the tendency to like overspend. So just be very mindful of that as well. Let's move on to February the 7th, because we're going to have the North Node in Pisces conjunct Neptune. This is rare because the North Node in Pisces is conjunct its ruler. Neptune rules over Pisces. So there's so much like Piscean energy as well throughout February. And if you take a look at your 11th house, I mean, it's packed with Saturn, Neptune, the North Node, Mercury, and the sun's going to be there. We're also going to have a new moon. So the 11th house is going to be of great importance. Friends, groups, social networks, hopes and wishes for the future. With Neptune in the North Node, you may even do like this collaboration with other people, whether it's friends, groups, or people that are very like-minded. And it could be for something regarding humanity, or it could be something that is like really spiritual, and it can really bring forth a lot of growth, spiritual growth, like coming together and doing something that is so like fulfilling and so in alignment, that can be so beautiful. On the shadow aspect, there could be a tendency to escape, or things may again not be so clear. There could be a lack of clarity or lack of certainty that can lead to illusions and deceit. So that's something to be mindful of. I see that manifesting more collectively as well. Now, your 11th house is going to be so like packed, because on February the 14th, Mercury, the planet of communication, enters your 11th house. So there's going to be a lot of conversations occurring, a lot of networking as well. That's where like the collaborations can occur. And the sun here on February the 18th. So more spotlight in this area of life, more light, more energy, more illumination in this area of life. So it's going to be quite a great importance throughout February and the coming months ahead as well. Let's move on to the full moon in Leo that's happening on February the 12th at 24 degrees. So this full moon is going to be impacting your 10th and 4th house axis, because the sun is going to be in Aquarius in your 10th house and the moon is going to be in your 4th house in Leo. What's really interesting is Uranus, which is currently in your sign, will really be triggering this full moon. Now, full moons are intense. It's an energy that is at its culmination and it's ready to be released. It's ready to change forms. It's ready to come into manifestation. So this could be some sort of change regarding career, goals, ambitions, or either home, family, in your personal life and your security. In fact, both of these areas can be triggered where there's change in one, there's change in another. This change can be quite unpredictable, so it may take you by surprise, but I'm sure you're used to that by now with Uranus being in your sign for all these years. So you kind of maybe have figured it out on how to take everything how it is and kind of like figure out as you go ahead with these changes, because you've been going through a lot of shifts in your life, and I'm sure you're happy to know that Uranus is going to be moving out of your sign. So whatever occurs during this time, especially if you have anything close to 24 degrees in the fixed signs, then this energy will impact you the most. But it can also impact relationships, because when it's hitting like the 10th and the 4th, and then Uranus is in the mix in your first house, it can definitely also impact relationships as well. So all these 4 areas of life can go through a transformation. Even if you've been working hard on something to achieve a goal, this could also manifest during this time. But again, there may be like a change that you're not familiar with that occurs. Moving on, February the 23rd, Mars goes direct in Cancer at 17 degrees. For some reason, I don't know why Mars is not on the screen right now, but it's in your 3rd house next to Jupiter. So the last couple of weeks, we've had Mars in retrograde, and now Mars is going direct. So regarding communication, regarding your daily kind of environment, neighborhood, travels, this could also be connected to like siblings or cousins, or even like your social life, because it's a very social area of life, and as is of course the 11th house. So if there were any like conflicts or confrontations or things you had to kind of figure out or work towards, or any like creative projects, well, now this energy is moving forward, so you'll see this area of life also pick up its pace, and the lessons that you've learned, time to apply them and integrate them and move forward. Now, last but not least, on February the 23rd, we have a new moon in Pisces at 9 degrees happening in your 11th house. So this could bring forth some type of development, some new cycle, new changes, or a new chapter regarding friends, groups, like-minded people, even acquaintances, or some sort of group you're involved in, or even like hopes and wishes that you have for the future. This could kind of like bring forth a new collaboration with other people as well. So that could be a positive and really bring forth some type of shift in your life that is very creative in nature, or even like very spiritual. So Taurus rising, February, yeah, it's a preparation to this intense energy that is building up, because when we get into March, it's game on, okay? It is game on, and things will be really moving at a fast pace. So take it easy and really monitor and journal what you're going through and what you're feeling throughout February.
If you enjoyed this video and you want to see your monthly horoscope for March, because March is a major month. There's an eclipse, there's a Venus retrograde, it's the beginning of the astrological new year. There's so many changes occurring. So if you want to see your monthly forecast for March, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up or leaving me a comment. And if you want to go deeper and learn more about your chart and what's in store for you in the next coming year, let me know by checking out my booking website, and I'll see you very soon. Lots of love.